welcome everybody back to the next game in the Colorado Rockies Rocky Horror Baseball Show replay 2025. We're at game number 25. It was played Friday, April the 25th, 2025. We're at Coors Field and a new opponent. The Cincinnati Reds have come to town. Coors Field, of course, hitter friendly. Singles are 1 to 19, home runs 1 to 9. On the mound for the Rockies will be Kyle Freeland. On the replay, he's 1-4 with a 7.62 ERA. Hello, Brian B. So that's who's on the mound for the Rockies. On the mound for the Reds is Andrew Abbott, and Andrew Abbott was 10-7 with a 2.87 ERA. And as I like to do with new opponents, we'll meet the team, the roster, the bullpen, the whole 9 yards, all the active guys, except for future starting pitchers. Won't worry about them. So in the starting lineup, we have TJ Friedl in center field. Batting second is the DH, Matt McLean. Batting third is shortstop Ellie De La Cruz. Batting cleanup in left field, Austin Hayes. Batting fifth is the third baseman, Noelvi Marte. Batting sixth is first baseman Spencer Steer. Batting seventh, Santiago Espinal at second base. Batting eighth and catching, Austin Wins. And batting ninth, the right fielder Blake Dunn. As we look at their bench, they have two left-handed players on the bench, a switch and a right. They have Gavin Lux on the bench, and they have Jake Fraley from the left side. Fraley will later go to Atlanta. They have Jaimar Candelario as a switch hitter, and the backup catcher Jose Trevino. Those are the available bench players for the Reds. The bullpen, they have two left-handers available, Brent Suter and Taylor Rogers. And then they have five right-handers available, Graham Ashcraft, Ian Jabot, Scott Barlow, Tony Santillan, and the closer, Emilio Pagan. And Emilio Pagan had 32 saves in 2025. So that's who's here for the Reds. Those are the active players. See the lineup there for the Rockies. Pretty standard, I think. Because they're both left-handed starters, though, they might throw an extra righty in the lineup. Freeland, again, 1-4 at 7.62 ERA in the replay. Real world, he was 5-17 with a 4.98. One thing Freeland does do well is hold runners on. He's a -5. He's a -4. And then the catcher, Stallings, is a -1 for a -5. So it might help control the run game a little bit. Hello, Thomas. Good to see you. And yes, Brian B., you know who's available. Now, I didn't bring out the starters like Hunter Green and those because they would not participate in this game anyway. So I'm only putting the guys out there that we know are going to participate in the game. So TJ Friedl, center fielder. And Brian B., since you're the Reds expert, if I mispronounce one of their names, let me know and I'll correct it. Here's TJ Friedl, center fielder, leading things off. Lefty-lefty matchup. We get a 1-6 for Friedl, and he'll draw the base on balls. That's something Rockies pitching seems to do a lot of, is walk guys. Friedl needs a 6 to get the good lead. So he needs a 6. Doesn't get it, he'll hold. And that'll send up Matt McLean, designated hitter. That's a 2-10 against the lefty, and that's a walk. So back-to-back walks for Freeland to start the game. Not a good way to start. And now you're bringing in some of the power guys. Ellie De La Cruz, shortstop. He hit 22 home runs in 2025. He's a switch hitter. Will bat from the right side. That's a 1-2, and that's a ground ball first base C. So first baseman Tolia will get it flipped to Freeland covering, but the other runners will advance to second and third. So one away, but now runners at second and third with one out. The infield for the Rockies will come in, try to not allow a cheap run on a ground out. So Austin Hayes, the left fielder, is up. Right-handed hitter against the lefty Freeland. That is a 1-5, and that is a strikeout plus injury, but I'm not doing injuries, so we're just going to go with the strikeout of Austin Hayes. We're out number 2, and now it's a clutch situation And I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this guy's name right. Noelvi Marte. I'm pretty sure Marte is right, but I think it's Noelvi. If it's a different way to say his first name, let me know. But I'm just going to look at it and pronounce Noelvi. So I don't know any other way to pronounce it. But if it's out there, somebody let me know and I'll fix it. All right, clutch situation for Marte. And in the clutch, he loses a hit 212. And that is a 211, not a 212. 211 is a ballpark single check, and of course at Coors Field, that's almost an automatic hit. And it is. It's only a one base single. So Friedel will score from third to make it 1-0, but McLean will stop at third base. So an RBI single by Marte, and that brings up Spencer Steer, first baseman. In the clutch for Steer, he will lose a hit 2-2. Runners at the corners. Marte, decent runner, but with runners at the corners, they're not going to run themselves out of an inning. They're going to go ahead and let Steer try to bring home another run. 6-4, and it's a ground ball shortstop. Next, we're looking at Shunk. He's a 3-0. 3-14 will get to that, and that's going to end the inning. But Cincinnati gets on the board first with a Marte single, courtesy of Coors Field. At the end of half an inning to play, it is Cincinnati 1 and Colorado coming to bat. And again, Andrew Abbott, the left-hander, on the mound, 10-7, 2.87 ERA in the real season. And leading off for the Rockies will be Jordan Beck. Abbott is a 0 hold, but the catcher, Austin Wynns, is a -1, so he has a net -1 for holding runners. Hello, Dan. Good to see you. That is a 4-8, and that's a strikeout for Andrew Abbott. One away for Sean Bouchard, right fielder. Oops, got one of my dice. Tends to happen. There's a card down on the floor. I didn't know what's down here. I'm not sure who that belongs to. Oh. I didn't even realize it, but from my All-Star game, Don Stanhouse had fallen off the table, so I got to put him in with the rest of the inside pitch bunch. All right, here is Sean Bouchard. Hello, Joel. Good to see you. 4-9 for Abbott. That's a 1 for a triple. Anything else will be a single. And that's a 1-out single for Bouchard. Bouchard could try to get a lead, but he gets caught with a 9, 10, or a 12, so I think they'll hold and try to let McMahon and Goodman do some damage. Ryan McMahon, left-handed hitting third baseman. That's a 2. So it's either a balk or a pass ball. He has a 0 balk rating. The pass ball rating on Wins is a 3 if we get to that. We are checking the pass ball, so it's a 3. 1 to 3, it's a pass ball. And it is not. He blocks it. So here's McMahon. Lefty, 1-5, struck him out. Strikeout number 2 for Andrew Abbott. And now it's up to Hunter Goodman, designated hitter, if the Rockies are going to put anything on the board. And that is a 6-9 against a righty. Struck him out. So he strikes out the side, does Abbott, to end the inning. That's something the Rockies do a lot, is strike out. Abbott, decent strikeout numbers, 149 strikeouts, 166 innings, but still striking out the sides a little bit, you would think a little much for him, but because the Rockies have holes in their bats, it makes it a lot easier to strike them out. So we'll go to the top of the second. Santiago Espinal, second baseman, will lead things off. That's a 6-6, and that's a fly to center. There's a dot there, but of course he's not tired yet. So Espinal is out of there. For the catcher, Austin Wynns. That's a 3-6 for Wynns. That's a strikeout plus injury, but again, we're not doing injuries, so just a strikeout. And now right fielder Blake Dunn. Don't know much about Blake Dunn. He had 60 at-bats and hit 150 on the season, but I guess he's in there because of the lefty starter. Looks like he does walk a lot. Got a lot of walks on his card. 8 walks and 60 at-bats. He also strikes out a lot. So see what happens here. 3-9, and he gets the strikeout. So Blake Dunn out on strikes. 1-2-3 inning for Freeland. Hello, Robert. Well, a lot of questions there, Robert. 87 cards. I believe I got them from Moonlight Graham, but I'm pretty sure I did. I don't remember any other person I would have gotten them from, because I don't trust eBay or anything else. So I believe I got those from Moonlight Graham years ago. I definitely want to, once the 87 one is over, I definitely want to do either a National League game or an American League game, or both leagues actually, maybe on an older season where there's only 8 teams per league. And because I really want to do a non-DH, because I really don't like the DH. That's the only thing I don't like about the 87 replay I'm doing with the American League, is the fact that it has the DH. And the only reason I chose the American League is because I had already done an 87 replay in History Maker Baseball with the Atlanta Braves, just a team replay. But I mean, all those players and everything are still familiar in my head. So I thought I'd try something different. All right, so bottom of the second. Hopefully that answers your question. But yeah, I don't know what that's going to be, because I still got another year or so at least on that other replay. We're just barely almost halfway there. Jacob Stallings is your batter for the Rockies. He's a 2-6 and he strikes out. So 4 strikeouts for Andrew Abbott. And here comes Mickey Moniak, the Maniac, center fielder, lefty. 2-6, and that's a base hit for Moniak. Now, Moniak will try to get a lead. He needs a 2 through 5 to establish a good lead. He does not, so he will hold. First baseman switch hitter Michael Tolia, batting right-handed. That's a 3-9, and that's another strikeout. 5 strikeouts for Andrew Abbott. He is looking more like Bob Gibson or something with all these strikeouts. Or Nolan Ryan with all these strikeouts. All right, here's Adiel Amador, second baseman. 2 outs and a runner, Moniak at first. That's a 3-10, and that's a line out right to the third baseman, Marte, to end the inning. So 2 innings gone, and the Reds hold a 1-0 lead. Top of the order coming up for Cincinnati, it'll be Friedl. He walked and scored his first time up. TJ Friedl, 5-9, and that's going to be a 1 for a home run. Anything else will be a double. 2 to 20 is a double. So we got a leadoff double for Friedl. And Matt McClain, designated hitter, stepping to the plate. He walked his first time up as well. It's a 6-4, and it's a ground ball shortstop. That Shunk is a 3. 3 and an 8. 3 and an 8 is a G3, so the runner is going to go to third on this. There's no error chance because it's an E0, so it's going to be a 6-3 ground out, but the runner does advance. And now the infield is going to play in for De La Cruz. Try to choke that run off. 5-6, switch hitter batting right-handed, and that's a ground ball third base A with the infield in. The runner will hold. So Friedl has to be held there as McMahon checks him and throws to first, 2 away. And now it's a clutch situation for Austin Hayes. Struck out his first time up in the clutch. Austin Hayes will gain a hit, 3-2. 110, and that's a ground ball to short, and that'll do it. So the leadoff double doesn't come out to hurt Freeland. We go to the bottom of the third, still 1-0 in favor of the Reds. And now the nameless player, Aaron Shunk, will swing away. That's a 6-9. He's right-handed. That's another strikeout. Abbott with 6 strikeouts of the first 9 batters. And now we're back to the top of the order for Jordan Beck. 1-5, and that is a base on balls. First walk issued by Abbott. Beck will look to get a lead as well. He needs a 2 through 6 or an 11. Doesn't get either one, so he'll hold. And here's Bouchard. 111 for Bouchard's a split. 1 to 3 is a single. Anything else, he lines it to De La Cruz. And that's a single, 1 star. Double die comes up as a 2. So first and second, 1 out for Ryan McMahon. Struck out his first time up. 6-5, and that's going to be a ground ball shortstop X. This could be a double play. De La Cruz is a 2. 2 and a 5, though. That's going to probably be just a G3, and that's exactly what it is. Pound signs irrelevant because they weren't holding anybody on. So G3, the runners are going to advance. De La Cruz is an E27, so he's got to avoid 3, 12, 17, and 18. That's a 5. I'm not doing the rare plays because they stink, so we're just going to go ahead and say that the 2 and the 5 is the G3. So that means the runners are going to advance to second and third with 2 outs. Clutch situation now for Hunter Goodman. In the clutch for Goodman, he loses a hit, 3-11. It's a 4-8, and that's another strikeout for Abbott, his 7th in 3 innings. Like I said, the Rockies have holes in their bats. No doubt about it. We go to the 4th, still 1-0. Both starting pitchers, well, actually, Abbott has a 5 for fatigue. Freeland has a 6. I thought Abbott had more stamina than just a 5, but pitched a lot of innings, 166 innings. To only give him a 5, that's kind of rough. I would probably give him a 6, but I didn't rate him. So here we go, Marte. 3-6 for Marte is a strikeout. Got number 4 for Freeland. Brings up Spencer Steer. That's a 6-11, and that's a fly ball right field X. We are looking at the right fielder, Bouchard. He's a 4. 4 and 17, he'll get to that. So now the E13 is what's in question. And the E13 for a right fielder, E13, he's got to avoid 4, 6, 12, 15, and 17. And that's a 16. Let's see. He's an E13. There's no 16 there. There's a 15 and a 17, but no 16. So Bouchard does make the play. 2 away. Eked out 1 there. Here's Espinal. 4-9 against the righty. It's a base hit. 2-out single for Espinal. And he is not much of a threat to run. Stole 2 bases, got caught once, but they're going to hold him at first base. Let him stay there. Here is Austin Wins. 4-6, and that's a 1-8 single. 9-20 lines to McMahon. And that's a base hit, so back-to-back 2-out singles. Puts runners at first and second for Blake Dunn in a clutch situation. Dunn, no rating against the clutch. He just didn't have enough at bats, I guess, to be rated as a clutch hitter. So he's neutral on that. Thanks for that, Brian. I definitely had Pagan as their closer. I wasn't sure about the setup, guys. Done. 4-9, and that's a single 2 stars. That'll score a run, make it a 2-0 game. All this with 2 outs. Espinal scores, Wins, goes to third. RBI single from Blake Dunn. 2-0 Reds. Still a clutch situation for TJ Friedl. And in the clutch, he will lose a hit on 3-3 and 3-10. Freeland to Friedl. 2-10, and that is a pop-up to McMahon to end the inning. But the Reds get another run, take a 2-0 lead, and the way Abbott's been pitching, that might be enough. Abbott back out will face Stallings, Moniak, and Tolia. That is a 5-8, and that's a pop-up to short. De La Cruz there. 1 down for Mickey Moniak, the Maniac. 5-5, and that's a double for Moniak. He's 2 for 2, single and a double for Moniak, the Maniac. That'll bring up Tolia. That's a 6-2, and that's a single to right field. Right fielder arm. Dunn's a 0. Moniak's a 15. Not being held is a 16. 1-16. They're going to send him. 1-16. They're going to send him. The Reds will throw through. Since Tolia only runs at 11, he will not take the extra base, so it's all at the plate. 1-16, and he's in there. RBI single from Tolia, and the Rockies are on the board, cutting the lead to 2-1. That'll bring up Amador. Tolia at first, not being held. 3-9, and that's another strikeout. Strikeout number 8 for Mr. Abbott, and now here is Aaron Schunk. 6-8, and that's a line out to third. Snagged by Marte to end the inning. The Rockies do get one. Cut the lead in half, back to 2-1 as we head to the 5th here at Coors Field. And I forgot to look it up, so let me do it now. I meant to do it before the game started, but I always forget something, it seems. So I want to look this up real quick so I can have a reference to see exactly how this game turned in real world. Cincinnati won this game 8-7 real world. I'm always curious about the real world score. So 8-7 was the real world score for Cincinnati. All right, Matt McLean will lead things off, start the top of the 5th. Whoa, that one didn't go through. That went right over the edge. Try it again here. We get a 4-5, and that's a fly to center. Hauled in out there by the center fielder, Moniak, and that's one away. For Ellie De La Cruz. That's a 111 for Cruz. That's a ballpark single. That's almost automatic, as we say. And that is automatic. De La Cruz is aboard. He's looking to run. See if he can get a good lead. He needs a 2 through 5, an 11, or 12. 8, he does not get the good lead, so he will hold. Here's Austin Hayes. Hayes, 311, and that is a ballpark single as well. And that's another single. So back-to-back singles. Runners at first and second with one out. First and second, one out. And Brian B., you are correct. They won game 1 8-7, game 2 6-4, and game 3 8-1. So they swept the series. Cincinnati did in real world. All right, so Hayes is aboard on the single. Here's Noel V. Marte. That's a 2-7 for Marte, and that's a fly to center. 2 down. Clutch situation now for Spencer Steer. Again, the only effect is a 2-2. Short of a 2-2, nothing else is going to affect the clutch rating. That's a 1-3. It's a ground ball first base C, and that'll do it. Tolia flips to Freeland to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 5th, still a 2-1 ball game, Cincinnati. And this is the fatigue inning for Andrew Abbott. He has that 5 sitting there for fatigue. And Jordan Beck, top of the order for the Rockies to lead it off. My plan is, in managing the Reds, if it goes to plan, it'll be Andrew Abbott for 6 innings. Then we'll use Ashcraft the 7th, Santillan the 8th, and Pagan the 9th to follow along with what the Reds would do real world, assuming Abbott, because I'm going to cap Abbott at 6 innings, I do believe. Here's Beck, 6'4". Ground ball shortstop X, that's De La Cruz. He's a 2E27. 2-1, it's going to get through for a base hit. Let's see if there's an error that is also attached. E27, 312, 17, and 18. And that is a 16, so no error there, just a base hit for Jordan Beck. Sneaks it past De La Cruz. Beck will look to run. He needs a 2 through 6 or an 11 to get the good lead. And he does not get it, so he will hold. Rashawn Bouchard. 2-5, struck him out. That is strikeout number 9 for Andrew Abbott. There's Ryan 112, and that's a Lomax to second base. So he lines it right to Espinal, and Espinal will fire to first to steer to double off Beck on the old Lomax, the old Neil Lomax. And that ends up costing the Rockies right there a line-out double play. So Abbott definitely has endurance to go one more inning. We go to the sixth. It's still 2-1. Thought we'd see more scoring, but there are still 4 innings left, so anything can happen. And Espinal, who made that nice start of a double play, will lead off the top of the sixth. This is now the fatigue inning for Mr. Freeland. That's a 2-6, and that's a walk. Leadoff walk to Espinal. And that is walk number 3 issued by Abbott. That'll send up Austin Wynns, the catcher. 6-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. This could be a double play, but Amador's a 4. It's going to be hard to turn that. 4-12 is probably a G2. 4-12 is actually a G3, so the only play will be at first base, assuming there's no error. He's an E14, so we have to avoid 15, 16, and 18, which we do, but it's only going to be a 4-3 putout with Espinal taking second base, so it kind of acts like a sacrifice bunt. And now Blake Dunn, who had an RBI single his last time up, he steps up against Freeland. 5-11, that's a ballpark blast. Blake Dunn has weak power against the lefties, though, so if he's successful on the ballpark blast, it would just be a single that would score the run, would not be a home run. Ballpark blast is 1-9. That's a 17, so it's not even going to matter. It's a fly to left for out number 2. And now Friedel is up in a clutch situation. He will lose hits on 3-3 and 3-10. Friedel is 1 for 2 with a double and a walk and a run scored. That's a 2-11, and that's a foul out to the catcher Stallings to end the inning. So that'll do it for the Reds in the 6th. It's still a 2-1 ball game. And Andrew Abbott coming back out in what might be his last inning. Probably will be. Hunter Goodman is your batter. He struck out twice. He's 0 for 2. 2-10. But this is a ballpark blast for Hunter Goodman. This could tie the game. A 1-9 would do it. And that is a 14, so he's just going to fly to left field. 1 away, and here comes Jacob Stallings. 3-4, and he flies to right. 2 down. And that will bring up Moniak the Maniac. He's 2 for 2. 4-8. Struck him out. There's a dot there, but he's not tired yet. That is strikeout number 10 for Abbott. I'm telling you, I'm thinking about letting Abbott go 7 innings now. I think it would be okay to go 7 innings. And that would condense the bullpen to Santillan and Pagan in the 8th and 9th. So Freeland's going to go 7 innings. We certainly ought to let Abbott go 7 innings. So Freeland facing McLean. 5-6, and that's a ground ball to third. McMahon will make the play. 1 away for Ellie De La Cruz. 1 for 3. 4-7. Struck him out. Strikeout number 5 for Freeland. And that'll bring up Austin Hayes. Whoa, missed the shoot there. 6-6 for Hayes. He flies to center. There's a dot there, but he's not tired. So the fly out is good. And attempt to let Freeland go 8 innings. I don't know. Rockies bullpen is pretty bad. So Reds have a lot better bullpen. So kind of don't feel so bad going to their bullpen compared to the Rocky bullpen. But Abbott will come out and pitch the 7th. There is Tolia. That is a 2-4 for Tolia. That's a home run, 1-8. 9-20 is a triple. And that is a triple, leadoff triple for Tolia. Leadoff triple for Tolia. And so now the Reds get the bullpen going in earnest. So So Graham Ashcraft is loosening in the bullpen, the right-hander. Infield is in with nobody out. They're trying to choke off that tying run, not let the tying run cross the plate. Abbott to Amador, 6-11, switch hitter batting right. Ground ball shortstop A. That will hold the runner with the infield in. One away, and we'll get a pinch hitter for Mr. No Name, No Carded Shunk. And we will go with Kyle Farmer. Farmer will stay in the game. Actually, he'll come in. Will he play second? Yeah, he's going to come in and play short in back of Shunk. So Kyle Farmer, the pinch hitter, right-hander. He will pinch hit. Infield still in. They're going to trust Abbott to get out of this against Farmer. That's a 4-10, and that is a fly ball center field X. We are looking at Friedel. He's a 2E3. 2 and a 12. Let's see if that's a sac fly or not. 2 and a 12 is an F2. It would be a sacrifice fly. E3, the only errors are 3, 16, and 18. So it looks like the game will be tied. And it will be sacrifice fly to center field. We are all tied at 2. So Farmer comes through with a sacrifice fly, ties the game at 2. And here is Jordan Beck. 5-9, and that is another strikeout for Abbott. We'll cap him off at 7 innings, and he garners 11 strikeouts, but does give up 2 runs in his 7 innings of pitching. Gives up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits, 2 runs. They are earned. I don't believe he walked anybody. It looks like, he walked back. He walked 1 batter and struck out 11. So Abbott can still win it if the Reds take the lead in the 8th inning. He can still win it. So Ashcraft has sat down, and it looks like Mr. Santillan is loosening the Reds bullpen to come in the 8th inning. Rockies have action in their bullpen as well, as they have right-handed action. Jimmy Herget loosening in their bullpen in back of Freeland. And let's see, do they want to let Freeland continue, or do they feel like they've got the most they can get out of Freeland? I think that's gonna be it for Freeland. Freeland's gonna get a no decision, but they just don't trust Freeland to keep going. Probably already on borrowed time. Walked 3, struck out 5, gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits, 2 runs. So very similar lines here, except for the strikeouts. Everything else is pretty much right on line there. So coming into the game is going to be Jimmy Herget, right-hander for the Rockies. In the 2025 season, he was 1-2 with a 2.48 ERA. And he will be in to face Marte, Steer, and Espinal. We are in the 8th inning, so obviously pinch hitting is allowed at this point. So it's possible. We got some lefties here. Let's see, Marte is a third baseman. Could bring in Gavin Lux to hit from Marte. Marte's 263, Gavin Lux 269. Brian B., you're here. I don't know. Do you want to take Marte out and put in Gavin Lux as a pinch hitter? So we're going to use Lux as a pinch hitter, and he'll stay in the game to play third base. So Lux, not quite as good defensively. He is a 4 E44 compared to a 3 E25, but I would say better hitter. Plus he's left-handed. So Lux will pinch hit to start the 8th inning, followed by Steer and Espinal. Still have Jake Fraley on the bench, left-handed, but he's only a 241 hitter, so I'm not sure if he would be an option or not later on. We'll find out. Right now, Gavin Lux He hit 269 on the regular season, 5 homers, 53 runs batted in. Yes, Brian B., I'm going to try to manage this legitimately, not like that other channel. So, all right, here is Gavin Lux. 3-3, and that's going to be a ground ball first base C, so grounded to Tolia, who flips to the pitcher Herget, covering one away. And here is Spencer Steer. Steer is 0 for 3, and I don't know if they have anybody else. They could bring in Jamir Candelario is awful. We could pinch hit with Fraley and then bring in Candelario to play first base. I don't know. Brian B., you tell me. You're the manager of the Reds since you are a Reds fan. Spencer Steer hit 238. Fraley hit 241, but Fraley is lefty. Steer is a righty. Steer is pretty good defensively, though, and Candelario is a little bit short. Steer hits, all right. We're going to keep Fraley on the bench for future reference, and they'll let Steer hit. That is a 5-11, and that's a walk. So Spencer Steer draws the walk. He's going to try for the lead. -1 for Herget makes him a -2. I did forget to put that in there. He's a -2 on his hold. But to get the lead, Steer needs a 4. That's the only number that would get him the lead. And he does not get it. So he will hold. And that brings up Santiago Espinal. Espinal, second baseman, is up. 1-7 against the righty, and that's a single 2 stars. That'll put runners on the corners with only 1 out. And Austin wins the batter. 291 hitter is Austin wins. Rockies playing for the double play, figuring Austin wins. He's got some ground ball A's on his card, so he could hit into a double play. Herget, 3-8, and that's a strikeout again plus injury, but again, we're not doing the plus injury part. Strikeout, and now we're down to Blake Dunn, and I'm assuming we're going to pinch hit with Blake Dunn with Jake Fraley, but you can verify that for me, Mr. Ryan. It would seem to be the thing to do. He's a 150 right-handed hitter versus a 241 lefty. So Jake Fraley will also stay in the game to play right field. So Jake Fraley is going to pinch hit in a big spot. Jake Fraley. Clutch situation for Fraley as well. In the clutch, he loses a hit 2-6 and 3-12. 2 spots. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. 2-2 tie, top of the 8th. That is a 4-9, and that's going to be a walk. It's going to load the bases. Second walk issued by Herget. And now TJ Friedl is coming up, but we're going to get a new pitcher for the Rockies. Herget is going to come out. Can't take all these walks. He's going to give up a hit and 2 walks. He did get a strikeout. And the Rockies will go to a left-handed reliever. Their only left-handed reliever, even though he's terrible. Still going to go to him because he's the only one you have. And that is Scott Alexander. He is not good at all. 1-1, 6.11 ERA between Colorado and San Francisco. So he is on Mr. Alexander. Lefty-lefty matchup with TJ Friedl. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Friedl in the clutch against lefties again loses hits 3-3 and 3-10. That's a 4-7, and that's a single 1-7. A ground ball to first, 8-20. And that's a 14. It's a ground ball to first, and Tolia takes it to the bag himself. And the Rockies get out of the jam. So we go to the bottom of the 8th, and coming in for the Reds will be Tony Santillan. Tony Santillan. And he is a -4 hold, which makes him a -5. in the hold factor. And in the bottom of the 8th, he will be facing Bouchard, McMahon, and Goodman for the Rockies, although Bouchard is 2 for 3, but that was against right-handers. So they're looking at their bench for a left-hander, and they're going to use Nick Martini to pinch hit for Bouchard, and Martini will stay in the game. Martini pinch hitting here in the 8th in place of Bouchard. So Martini gets the pinch hitting call against Santillan. Nick Martini on the season, 225 hitter with 1 home run. See what we can do here against Santillan. 6-8, and that's another strikeout. Strikeout number 12 by Reds pitching. 1 away, and here's Ryan McMahon. He's 0 for 3. 1-5 for McMahon is another strikeout. That's the 13th strikeout by Reds pitching. And that brings up Hunter Goodman. Well, that one went on the outside, so let's redo that. They didn't all go through the chute. There we go. 5-9, and that's another strikeout. So Santillan comes on, strikes out the side in his 1 inning of work. And we go to the 9th. All tied at 2 apiece. That's it for Santillan. He's a short reliever. He's not going to pitch a lot of innings. Coming in for the Rockies, Alexander went 1/3 of an inning, did his job, got his 1 out. And now we go to a right-hander out of the bullpen. It will be their closer since it's not a save situation anymore, Seth Halverson. Halverson 1-2, 4.99 ERA and 11 saves for Seth Halverson. He will come on and pitch. He is a -2. It makes him a -3. So tight game, just like it was in the real world. But, of course, the offense not quite as showing up quite as much as it did in real world. It'll be Matt McLain, De La Cruz, and Hayes. Those are the scheduled hitters for the Reds against Seth Halverson. McLain is 0 for 3 with a walk. And that is, it's hard to see it. It got buried back here. That is a 5-6, and that is a strikeout. Halverson strikes out McLain, 1 away. Brings up De La Cruz. And that is a 1-7 for De La Cruz, and that's all these hits in column 1, and he found the fly to left. That's 2 away for Austin Hayes. 3-2 for Hayes, and that's a ground ball right back to Halverson to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 9th, and that's it for Halverson. He went his 1 inning. And now, Brian B., we're going to Ashcraft or Ashcroft, I should say. Oh, it is Ashcraft, my bad. Because you're not going to bring in Pagan because it's not a save situation. So Ashcraft comes on. He was in the 25 season, 8-5, 3.99 ERA, no saves. So Graham Ashcraft, a right-hander, is on. He has a hold of 0, which makes it a -1. And he will be facing Jacob Stallings, Mickey Moniak, and Tolia. Those are the scheduled hitters for the Rockies. Their only backup, they can't pinch hit for Stallings because the only backup catcher they have is Goodman, the DH, and you would lose your DH. So they're going to have to let Stallings hit against Mr. Ashcraft. 1-5, and that is another strikeout. Strikeout number 15 by Reds pitching. And here comes Mickey Moniak, the Maniac, 2 for 3. 4-2, that's a split. 1-16 is a single. 17-20, he lines out. And that's a base hit. Moniak 3 for 4. And he's going to look to get a lead. 2 through 5 gets him the good lead. And he does not get it. Unable to get that good lead, so he'll hold. And here's Michael Tolia, first baseman. He did triple his last time up, but that was against Abbott. 2-3 against the right-hander, and that's a ballpark blast. 1-9, we could have a walk-off home run. A 2-3 against the right-hander is a walk-off home run possibility on a 1-9. It's a 12. We couldn't quite get it. So deep fly to left field for out number 2. So Ashcraft escapes disaster there. Keeps the game going. Here's Amador. He's 0 for 3. 5-8. Switch hitter batting left. 5-8 to fly to left, and that will do it. We got extra innings. And I think this is the first extra inning game I've had in this replay. So the first chance to use the old ghost runner. And Austin Hayes will be the ghost runner at second base. So I'm not sure how I wanted to put this. I guess over here I'll put him at second base right here. So he's going to be the ghost runner at second base. It's going to be Lux, Steer, and Espinal, the batters, but the Rockies have to determine who they're going to bring in to pitch. And let's see. Looks like it's going to be right-hander Jaden Hill. So Jaden, they don't have any more left-handers, so that's out of the question. Jaden Hill, 1-1 with a 3.38 ERA, no saves. So Jaden Hill, back this up to touch. Jaden Hill will face Gavin Lux to start the 10th inning. Hill is a +4, which makes him a +3. Now, Brian B., I'm assuming Ashcraft is a one-inning guy. That's the way they reflect him. So we're going to limit him to the 1 inning, give a hit and a strikeout. So I'm assuming if the Reds take the lead, we bring in Pagan. If they don't take the lead, then we figure out who else to bring in. Maybe a lefty Brent Suter or a Taylor Rogers, maybe. Taylor Rogers isn't bad. Let's see. Barlow, maybe. I'm not sure. Barlow if tied. Okay, so not Brian Barlow. What am I talking about? Scott Barlow. If they don't take the lead, it's going to be Scott Barlow. If they do take the lead, it's going to be Emilio Pagan. So it's all based on what they do offensively. So we have Gavin Lux to lead it off against Jaden Hill with Hayes at second base. So automatically, well, it's not a clutch situation because there's no outs. So Gavin Lux against Jaden Hill. 5-9, and that's a strikeout for Jaden Hill, 1 away. Brings up Spencer Steer. That is a 4-6, and that's a strikeout for Jaden Hill. 2 down. And out is a clutch situation for Santiago Espinal. That is a 2-5, and that's a foul out to first base. And that's going to do it. We go to the bottom of the 10th. Reds can't get the run home on the ghost runner. Ghost runner for the Rockies will be Amador. He'll be stationed at second base. And new pitcher, Jaden Hill, is done. He went his 1 inning. And he didn't give up anything, striking out 2. So coming on will be the aforementioned Scott Barlow. He is a righty. He's going to be a +5 because he is a +8 on his hold. Not a very good hold rating, +8. But I don't think that factors in here. So Barlow, 6-3, 4.21 ERA and a save in the 25 season. And he will be facing the number 9 hitter, Kyle Farmer, with Amador at second base as the ghost runner. Runs as a 13. So this is where if you had a good bunter, you could bunt him to third and force him to bring the infield in. But just about everybody in 2025 is a D bunter, so you're kind of screwed. Have to go with what you have. So Kyle Farmer did have sacrifice fly his first time up. 2-3 for Farmer. Ground ball first base C. That'll get the runner to third base. So Amador will make it to third. It acts like a bunt. He does go to third. 3-1 put out as Steer flips to Barlow. And that brings up Jordan Beck. Infield's obviously going to have to come in. The outfield's going to have to come in because the sacrifice fly does them no good. You want to walk Jordan Beck? Is that what you're saying? Walk Jordan Beck, or should I have walked Farmer? I'm not sure. You might have been a little late on the chat there. So are we walking Jordan Beck, or did I walk Farmer? I missed it on Farmer. Sorry about that. Do you want to walk Beck? Well, it doesn't do any good to walk Beck, I don't guess, because we're already at this point here. So Beck is your batter. Infield is in. That's a 1, so we got a chance at a wild pitch. We could have a walk-off wild pitch. His wild pitch rating for Barlow is a 5. A 1 to 5, and this game is over on a walk-off wild pitch. It is not. He blocks it. So reprieve is there. Here's the pitch to Jordan Beck. Infield in, outfield in, everybody in. That is a 3-7 for Jordan Beck, and he struck him out. Barlow gets the strikeout, and that is strikeout number 16 in the game for Rockies batters. And now it's down to Nick Martini. We can walk Martini. Oh, you want to bring Rogers in for Barlow to face the lefty Martini? Is that what you're saying? We're going to bring in Rogers. Okay. So Taylor Rogers, the lefty, will be coming on to face Nick Martini to get a lefty-on-lefty matchup. Barlow goes 2/3 of an inning, not giving up anything. And I'm not sure. I don't think if the ghost runner scores, I still think it's not counted against the reliever. I think it's on the team or something. So I think it's safe to put a 0 there. He has a +2 hole, which makes him a +1. So Martini is up, runner at third, 2 outs, infield back to normal, outfield back to normal. Nick Martini, the lefty, only faced left-handed pitching 4% of the time. Let's check the Rockies bench. I don't think they have a whole lot on the bench to go to. Well, they do have Brenton Doyle, so they could bring in Brenton Doyle here. And that's what they will do. They will pinch hit with Brenton Doyle. They're going to bring in Brenton Doyle. If it goes extra innings, he will move into center field. They will move Moniak to right field. So Doyle will pinch hit and take over in center field. Brenton Doyle. Brenton Doyle. Doyle, 233 hitter, 15 home runs on the season. Oh, it goes as an unearned run. Okay, gotcha. I brought Rogers in. I just brought him in. Rogers is right here. Oh, you know what? You are correct. He did not face 3 batters. I forgot about that. So glad you caught that. So that means that we need to bring back in. So that way I'm not going to have – I'm going to leave that's going to fix everything. That's going to backtrack everything. We're not going to have Doyle pinch hit because Martini would stay in there against the right-hander. So let's backtrack. Get it back to the way it was. So Martini's going to be in there against Barlow. So Barlow still has to go. One more batter. So we can't bring Taylor Rogers in yet. That is correct. So in case we don't bring him in next inning, we'll white him out because if the Reds take the lead, that would be Pagan's spot. So do that. And now I need to get Nick Martini and bring him back. And Brenton Doyle is still on the bench. So Martini against, not Barlow, Rogers. It's Barlow. It's Barlow against Martini. Now we'll get this thing straight eventually. So Barlow Barlow is in to face the third batter, Martini, with McMahon on deck. Since his run doesn't mean anything, Brian, did you want me to walk him intentionally and then bring in Rogers to face the lefty McMahon, or did you want him to go ahead and pitch to Martini? Because with the intentional walk, that would be the third batter faced. So that's what you want me to do. Okay, we're going to intentionally walk Martini, and that'll give Barlow the necessary 3 batters faced. He will now be charged with a run, though. And now Doyle, let's see, Doyle will stay on the bench because McMahon's going to hit. They need McMahon at third base. So now we have Rogers coming on. We'll get it straight here. So Taylor Rogers is on. And if I didn't show his numbers before, 3-2, 3.38 ERA, no saves. The left-hander, he's a +2, which makes him a +1. All right. So now we got runners on the corners, 2 outs. Clutch situation for Ryan McMahon. Yeah, whoever made the last out in the previous inning is the pinch runner here. Since Amador made the last out of the 9th, he is automatically the ghost runner. Same with up here in the top of the 9th. Hayes made the last out, so he is automatically the ghost runner. All right, so McMahon in the clutch against the lefties will lose a hit. 1-4 and 3-6. 1-4 and 3-6. That is a 5-7, and that's a walk. That's going to load the bases. Now, Rogers has to stay in to face Goodman because he has to face 3 batters. So he's going to face Goodman with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Bases loaded and 2 outs. Clutch situation for Goodman. Goodman in the clutch against the lefties. Loses a hit on 3-11. That is a 2-7, and that's a base hit, and there's your ball game. We're just going to call it a single because that's the way it would be. Single scoring is Amador, and there's your ball game. The loss will go to Barlow. He will take the L. Rogers, a hit and a walk, didn't get anybody out. So it's 1 run unearned. And the Rockies win it in 10 innings by the score of 3-2. Rockies get their 10th win of the season. They are now 10-15. Keep in mind, they only won 9 of their first 59 games. They are now 10-15 in their first 25. Winning pitcher is Jaden Hill. So let's get the totals for the Rockies. 3 runs on 9 hits. I don't believe either team made an error that I can think of. I don't believe there were any errors. 2 runs, 8 hits, and no errors for the Reds. So an exciting game. My first ever ghost runner that I can think of. So there you go. Tomorrow's game, game number 2 of the series, will feature right-hander Hunter Green for the Reds against right-hander Antonio Sensatella for the Rockies. That'll be the game tomorrow night. And in fact, I've already got the score sheet ready to go for that game for tomorrow, game number 26. And now I can fill in the Rockies at 10 and 15. So Hunter Green against Sensatella. That'll be the game tomorrow night, roughly around 9:15 again. Yeah, I mean, sometimes, Brian B., just the dice rolls just don't work your way. But I think both sides got managed properly. Restrictions, of course, on that 3-batter rule. So without the 3-batter rule, I'm sure Taylor Rogers would have come in there a little sooner. Maybe I should have intentionally walked. I didn't catch that you wanted me to intentionally walk Farmer right away. So that could have affected it too. Who knows? But on that particular play with Goodman, it was a 2-star single either way you went. So it didn't matter whether we walked the other guy or not. I would have scored the run either way. It was a 2-star single and that 2-7. So turned out, not to really matter, so to speak. So anyway, that was a fun game. Who says the 2025 season is not a fun season to play? I'm challenging that premise. So who knows? If I like this replay and I want to keep, after 59 games, if I want to keep going, maybe we keep going. I don't know, but I'm only committing to 59 games. That's what I committed to. Game 25 is in the books, so we're almost halfway there. Almost halfway there. So again, Hunter Green facing Cincinnati, and in the series finale, it'll be Lodolo against Blaylock, who's in the minors. Blaylock's getting called up from the minor leagues to make that start. So it'll be Blaylock. I think his name is Bradley Blaylock. Got to get the card here and figure out who he is. Where'd he go here? Blaylock, where are you? I know he's in here somewhere. Where'd he go? There he is. Bradley Blaylock. He's going to start the third game of the series. Cincinnati starts tomorrow night. And he was a robust 4-15 with a 6.65 ERA. And then Blaylock will start on Friday night. And then for the Reds, of course, we have Hunter Green tomorrow. And then Nick Lodolo will be on Friday. So that's going to do it from here. I did not make envelopes for the 25 season, and I am using rubber bands. But before you panic, I do have them in plastic sleeves, and I just have the rubber band on the outside, so the cards are still very much protected. So anyway, there you go. Hope you all enjoyed that presentation. Strat-O-Matic 2025 Rockies Horror Baseball Show. Maybe it's not as horrible as we thought, as they are now 10-15. So coming up on the channel tomorrow morning, we'll have Detroit and Seattle. Final game from the 1987 season replay on July the 4th. It'll be Jack Morris against a rookie, Mike Campbell, making his major league debut for Seattle. Tomorrow sometime, I'm thinking it'll be tomorrow. It might be Friday. I'll probably do it tomorrow, though. I'm thinking tomorrow we're going to have the first three rounds of the PGA Championship from Quail Hollow in Histormaker Golf. Scotty Scheffler won that Real World. We'll have the first two rounds for the cut, and then the third round for positioning. That'll all be tomorrow. I'll record it tomorrow and post it tomorrow, hopefully. And there are some live tournament guys that are going to be in this PGA tournament, PGA Championship, including guys like John Rahm and Phil Mickelson and some of Sergio Garcia, Bryson DeChambeau, some of those guys. Oh shoot, what's the other guy's name? I'm drawing a blank on the other guy's name. Oh well, can't forget. I can't remember. Koepka. Koepka will also be there as well. Yeah, they fit a little bit better than the envelopes because sometimes you get these extra players in there. The envelopes start falling apart. They start ripping too easy. So these things here work very well. And yes, Brian B., the Reds are Thursday and Friday. Absolutely. Tomorrow night and Friday night will be the Reds and the Rockies. What I'll probably do is record the golf tomorrow early, either late tomorrow morning or early tomorrow afternoon, and put it out around 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, maybe 3:30, something like that. So by 9:15 or 9 o'clock or whatever I get around to doing this, probably 9:15, then that'll be all cleared up, and those that don't care for the golf can skip it, and those that do like golf can check it out. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a great rest of your Wednesday evening. Again, Rockies make history, at least on this channel. My first Ghost Runner, it went 10 innings, and Ghost Runner scored on an RBI single from Hunter Goodman with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the bottom of the 10th to give the Rockies a 3-2 victory over the Cincinnati Reds to start the 6-game homestand They play Cincinnati 2 more games, then the Atlanta Braves come in for 3 before the Rockies then head out to the West Coast to play the Giants for 4 games. So that's what's on the agenda the next 8-9 games for the Rockies. 5 more at home, and then they go to San Francisco for a 4-game road trip. Play 4 games in San Francisco. So everybody have a wonderful evening. Stay safe out there. Stay cool out there if it's hot where you are. I know over here now the heat's come back. I think tomorrow it's going to be like 97, 98, something like that. I cut the grass Monday, so I'm good. I cut the grass when it was 81 degrees, so I got that out of the way long before the heat got here. So I can stay inside now and not have to do any chores outside. So that's going to do it from here. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and we'll see you all down the road.